This is the Nishtalas showing a Bommala Koluvu for the year 2022. As always, we start our preparations about a month in advance, evaluating multiple options for our theme, doing research, and eventually zeroing down on one theme. After which, then the actual putting together the entire display takes about 4 to 5 days. We have our Bommala Koluvu in two parts. The first part is the traditional steps, which you can see here. There are 7 steps on the left hand side, 5 steps in between, and then further we have another 7 steps on the right hand side. And on the other side we have our theme for the year, which is a specific theme that we take up each year. And I will now go on to show you what this is for the current year. Our theme is about animals, how the animals are Vahanas for the gods and what is the relationship between them. Often we think of the relationship as being that of a servant and master, but actually it is more like the god is the soul and the animal is the physical manifestation of that soul, each one of them with very specific characteristics. For example, let us take goddess Lakshmi, for whom the owl is the animal. The owl has the capability to see in the darkness. So what this means is that goddess Lakshmi is telling us, have the wisdom to go beyond the externality, to go beyond the glamour of the external beauty and look at the internal beauty and purity of the person. For Lord Brahma, the swan is the animal. The swan represents intellect or buddhi. The swan is supposed to have the capability to separate milk from water. So that means you must have the capability to separate what is right from what is wrong, what is just from what is unjust. Lord Shiva's Vahana is Nandi, the bull. The bull is known for its aggression, strength, anger, and so on. But these are capabilities which Lord Shiva has channelized very effectively in the bull, and therefore it becomes a very good Vahana for him. And that's the message for us, that you can have all these qualities, but channelize them well, and then they will be of good use for you. We have Lord Vishnu, who reclines on the divine serpent, Adisesha. The serpent represents all our material desires, our worldly pursuits, and the pursuit that we have of worldly experiences. And Lord Vishnu is telling us that please have control over these and be on top of them. His Vahana is Garuda, the eagle. The eagle is well known for its capability to see very long distances with great clarity, and also its wide wings help it to move very far and wide. So Lord Vishnu is telling us that you must have the clarity of your goal or where you want to reach, and at the same time the ability to be able to put into action so that you're taking the necessary steps to reach your goal. Our favorite god, Lord Ganesha, has a rat as the Vahana. It is said that there was this demon called Mushikasura who was terrorizing people on the earth, and Lord Shiva sent Ganesha to slay Mushikasura. And at the end of the fierce battle, just before dying, Mushikasura asked Lord Ganesha if he could become his Vahana. And that's how Mushikasura became Ganesha's Vahana, the rat. The rat has the capability to go through any obstacles, even to bite through ropes and so on, and reach its objective. So Lord Ganesha similarly is the one who's called as the Vigna Raja, because he helps us to reach our goals in spite of any obstacles that may come. And he is therefore the person whom we always pray to at the beginning of any task, any ceremony. There we have Lord Surya, who has the seven-headed horse as his Vahana. The seven heads represent the seven colors of the rainbow, and they also represent the seven subtle chakras of the body. We have here Lord Kartikeya, for whom the peacock is the Vahana. There was a fierce demon called Surapadman, and after a long and prolonged battle, Kartikeya slayed Surapadman by cutting him in half. The bottom half became the peacock, which is his Vahana, while the upper half became a rooster, which went on to become the banner of Lord Kartikeya. We have animals playing very important roles in mythology in different stories, and that's what we have shown here, including the Narasimha Avatara. We have the Kali snake which Krishna is dancing upon, and we also have here Lord Krishna lifting the Govardhanagiri to protect all the animals from the fury of Indra. And there we have the very famous Samudra Manthan, which all of you would be familiar with, where the divine snake Adisesha is the rope for the Manthan, and the Kurma Avatara, which is the avatar of Lord Vishnu, supports the Mount Meru as it is used to churn the ocean. There are a couple of very specific stories which I would like to talk about. Here we see Gajendra Moksham. Gajendra is the king of elephants, very strong, very powerful, but also very arrogant, because he believes he is of such great strength that he can do everything on his own. One day he was bathing in the lake when a crocodile, a makara, caught his leg. Gajendra was very confident about himself and felt that he can extricate himself from the clutches of the makara on his own. As this was going on, Lord Vishnu was reclining on Adisesha, and goddess Lakshmi also was with him, and they were watching the scene from Vaikuntham. And goddess Lakshmi then told Lord Vishnu that please look at your devotee, he's struggling with the makara, please help him. But Lord Vishnu said, not yet, let us see what he does. And Gajendra continued to struggle with the makara for a long time and became weaker and weaker and weaker, till he came to a stage where he said, Lord, now I completely surrender to you because I cannot do this. And at that stage, Lord Vishnu then came on Garuda and slayed the makara with the Sudarshana Chakra. The symbolism in this story is that if you are arrogant and you believe that you can do everything on your own, then there will be no divine help, no divine intervention coming your way. But if you put in your own efforts, but also seek the help of the gods, then they will also reach out and help you. We have here some other stories like Lavakusa of the Ramayana, where they are seizing the horse of the Ashwamedha Yaga. We have here Maricha, who's come in the form of the golden deer to entice Sita. The other interesting parable from the Mahabharata is represented here. At the end of the Great War, after Yudhishthira had won the battle along with the other Pandavas, he wanted to commemorate his victory by performing the Rajasu Yajna, which he went on to do with a lot of pomp and grandeur on a very great scale. And as he was doing this, some pride crept into him to say that I won this great victory and I am also performing this Rajasu Yajna. And that's when a strange spectacle unfolded, when a mongoose came to the sacrificial fire area and started to roll around on in the vicinity. It was made of half gold and half normal color. The mongoose then came to Yudhishthira and said, "Your sacrifice has no merit." Yudhishthira was very astonished and said, "How are you saying so? Because I'm performing the sacrifice on such a grand scale." Then the mongoose said that some time back there was a drought in this area, and I had gone to a poor priest's house. He had only a handful of rice to feed his entire family. And just as they were about to eat, one beggar came and asked for alms. And the priest had no hesitation in handing over that entire handful of rice to the beggar. And as that was happening, two morsels of rice fell on the floor. I went and rolled on them, and half my body turned to gold. Since then, I have been searching to see if there is any other act, any other sacrifice which matches the merit of that poor priest. Hearing about your Rajasuya Yajna, I came here, but I find that your Rajasuya Yajna is not at the same level as the sacrifice of that poor priest. Yudhishthira realized that he had let false pride creep into him and he became humble. In the corner there, we see the divine cow, Kamadhenu, which came out of the Samudra Manthan, and this was given to the Sapta Rishis to take care of their needs for milk and ghee. The four legs of the cow are the four Vedas, and its horns and paws are Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and its shoulders are Indra and Agni, while the eyes are Surya and Chandra. You will also see here the tree of life, and as you can see, there are two birds on it. One bird is eating a fruit while the other bird is watching from the top. So this is a metaphorical representation of the bird which is eating the fruit is our physical side, which is constantly pursuing worldly things, worldly positions and experiences. And sometimes we forget that our true reality or true consciousness is our soul, which is the bird above. And that is what is the essence of who we are. And so therefore, don't be carried away by the external world, but realize your true inner consciousness. And that's what is being represented here. There are many other such stories, but I will not go into detail none of them. And now we can move to our steps here. As you can see, on the top we have 7 steps. The top step has Venkateshwara and Padmavati, Lord Shiva and Parvati, and so on. The next step has the Dasavataras. The step after that has the Navadurgas, the 9 forms of Durga, and then the Ashtalakshmis. Then we have Tamil saints, the Nayanars, who are Shaivite saints, and Alvars, who are Vaishnavite saints. Below that is Tyagaraja, along with his troop. And the last step is the householder of the family, who is seeking blessings from the gods and goddesses for in the years to come. One interesting symbolism of the Dashavataras is also that it is not just about the 10 avatars of Vishnu, but it also represents the evolution of life itself on the earth. In its most primitive form, the first time that life evolved on the earth was when it came as in the form of a fish in water, and that is the Matsyavatara. As the fish evolved, it became something which could also venture out onto land. So it was there on both water and land, and that is the Kurma-avatara, which is the turtle. As evolution progressed, then the creature became fully developed as an animal which was on land, and that is the Varaha-avatara. In further evolution, it started to transform into a man, and that is the half animal, half man that you see in the Narasimha Avatara. The stage after that is when man has now become a man but still in infancy, and that is the Vamana Avatara. And the next stage is man is fully developed, but civilization itself is still very early, and therefore man is staying in the jungle, in the forest, and that is the Parashurama Avatara. As society progressed and large groups of people came together, urbanization followed, and that is the Rama Avatara. Society became more complex, and therefore we started to see politics and so on, and that is the Krishna Avatara, and so on. So the Dasavataras are not just the representation of the 10 avatars of Vishnu, but they are also the evolution of life itself on the earth. We have some other interesting sets here. We have the Navagrahas, which you can see there. The one after that is where Hanuman is in the court of Ravana, sitting on the throne of his tail. Below that is Kumbhakarna, who is being woken up for the battle in the Ramayana. On the right side, we have 7 steps where there are various scenes which you can see from Lord Krishna's life, in the birth of Lord Krishna, his interactions with his mother Yashoda, the slaying of Kamsa, the slaying of Chanura and Mushtika, and the slaying of Putana, and so on. One specific interesting point, not from Lord Krishna's life, but which you might find interesting, is Bhakta Kannappa, who was a very well-known saint, who was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he used to pray to Lord Shiva very regularly. And one day when he went to the temple, he found that one of the eyes of Lord Shiva was bleeding. Without any hesitation, he plucked his eye out and replaced that bleeding eye with his own eye. But Lord Shiva wanted to test his devotion further, and so he plucked out, there was bleeding which started from the second eye as well. And once again, there was no hesitation from Kannappa's side. He went on to pluck out his second eye as well, but because now he needed to look at where the eye was, therefore he put a stone that place and replaced it with his own eye. Pleased with his devotion, Lord Shiva then restored his eyesight and blessed him. So that is our display of Bommala Koluvu for the current year. I hope all of you enjoyed seeing it as much as we enjoyed putting it together. Thank you very much.